WNY watercooler.com.
Fuck you all! Fuck the fucking Patriots! I don't give a shit! Yes! Yes! Let's go, Bill! Throw it! Throw it! Throw it! Yeah! 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 Goddamn right!
Good times. There's gonna be good times. Good times.
For all you non-believers, disrespect us, talk crap about the defense like we ain't the third best defense in the league. All we hear is about their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed.
Oh, get strokes, motherfucker. I give up.
I know there's gonna be
Work every day till we meet ends. I fi turn it up on the weekends. Bust a toast to your real friend. Tell me why you're drinking now.
I know there's gonna be
He running about the money and good time.
Welcome back. Welcome back. WNYWaterCooler.com podcast. We got Steve, our magnificent host, and we got Coast on the line.
All seems right in the world this week, Steve.
Yeah, another game we don't cover, and we need all the luck in the world and the other team's coach to completely botch it for us to win.
All the luck in the world. That was a tough win. That was a good win.
It was a tough setup. We had 3 days. We had half our team out, seemingly.
Yeah, I mean, we played 2 games between when that storm hit Friday. We had 6 days where we basically had how many normal practices? 1 maybe, and played 2 games. Had to travel twice, dig out of their house. I mean, the fact that we won both of those games is, I don't care how it looked or how we did it. That was pretty impressive in my book.
Well, I care how we looked, but I mean, it was impressive enough. We got the wins. Dan Campbell, I don't know why. I never understood why everyone loved that dude. I should have been fading him in August, September, October. I mean, yeah, they piled up a couple of wins, but dude doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, they play hard. They're pretty good. They have good players on offense for sure. But I don't know. The end of the game there left a little bit to be desired. I mean, we had 3 timeouts, so you have to be thinking that over 20 seconds. I mean, that's enough for us to run 4 plays, and that's what we did. We ran 4 plays. So you can't think that you're. I don't know.
They were just playing there. Why would you play for the tie? It makes no sense to just outright play for a tie.
Well, they were playing for they went for the win. They took a shot, but they wanted the tie to be they didn't want they didn't want it to be possible to be worse than the tie. They took a shot on 3rd and 1. They went deep,
which even makes less sense.
The guy was open. I mean, they were taking a shot, and they're like, okay, we'll. And the field goal was long too. I'm with you. I didn't agree with how they handled it, but I mean, you can't leave a team with 4 timeouts or on 3 timeouts. You know, it's enough time to run 4 plays. You could definitely get in the field goal range.
Yeah, I mean, the dude was open, but even if he doesn't mean he was going to score a touchdown. So then they would have had maybe like 15 seconds. I mean, they would have probably played it the same way, the way that guy was doing it. I just didn't think that what they were doing made any sense.
The guy was definitely open.
Yeah, he was open, but
Goff threw like a back shoulder instead of like deep to the end zone or something. But I'm pretty sure that was Jackson who just got cooked again on that play.
Your boy, who's going to have a great future in this league.
Well, did anyone else notice how many times Romo said that Jackson is like, he had to have said it 5 times in the game. Like, he's a good player. He's got a great future. This guy's a good player. What, are they friends? Like, is he trying to build them up? I didn't really understand that. The guy has been a disaster the past month.
I'm not impressed with Romo overall. I think that he seemed off a lot. A lot of stuff that he was saying made no sense. And Jim Nance is just there for the paycheck.
Yeah, I don't know. The Dane Jackson love affair was weird, but our secondary, Jackson, I don't know what the plan is here. I mean, I'm assuming the plan is just to keep playing them, but I've never seen someone get beat on like every single 50-50 pass consistently for this. I mean, every single ball that's thrown his way that's a contested catch is being caught. It's crazy.
Why dress and play Trey White just be out before the midway through the first quarter? I don't understand this roster construction. It makes no sense.
They're treating it. They were clearly treating it. Well, clearly, I think they were treating it as like a preseason game for him. Get him in the flow, 2 series or 3 series or whatever he played, then sit him, which they preferred to do, I guess, than like come in, come out, come in, come out. But I mean, he needs to play the full game this week. Enough of this. We need him. He's healthy. He's got some snaps under his belt. The season starts now, and
Benford's out.
So if I'm the Bills, I'm probably starting White and Rhodes.
Probably. I mean, Wade Dane Jackson's playing, but I mean the Patriots. Jacoby Myers, he's hurt. Well, although he's been practicing a little bit, he might be playing. I mean, no one on that team really scares me on offense.
In McDermott's defense, you got to just like know what to do, and be able to understand the scheme. And I feel like Rhodes. I mean, he's not. I'm sure he's not as athletic or fast as some of the other guys, but if he knows where to go and what to do, and
he's been on the roster for like 6 weeks or whatever it's been. I mean,
I think Jackson needs to be sat for some period of time. I mean, this guy's getting lit up. His confidence is shot. I don't know if benching him would help or hurt that even more so than it is, but that's what I would do. And you're right, they're Patriots on offense. I mean, they lit it up against Minnesota.
Yeah, I have their games here. So they beat the Patriots are a myth. I don't know. I mean, they're 6-5. They beat Mitch Trubisky by 3 points. They smoked the Lions. They crushed them by 29. They beat the Browns by 23. Then they beat Sam Allinger, and that was Frank Reich's last game. They squeaked by them, and then they beat the Jets by 5 and by 7.
They should have lost both of those Jets games. Well, the first one, remember the Jets had that pick 6 that got taken back.
Yeah.
I mean, that changed the entire game, and then obviously they got that punt return. Their schedule's been very weak so far.
So they lost to Tua by 13. They lost to the Ravens by 11. They lost to Green Bay in overtime by 3. The Bears game, I mean, it was kind of an anomaly. They lost by 19. They gave up 243 yards rushing. The Bears had 5 fumbles in that game, but they didn't lose any of them. And Zappe played that game. He had 2 picks, but also Mac Jones made sure he got in there to throw an interception.
Oh, is that the game Mac started and then he played like a quarter and a half and they immediately pulled him to put in Zappe?
Yeah. Mac started. He threw that long interception. Zappe came in the second half and just started raining picks down. And then they lost to Minnesota by 7. I mean, that game last Thursday, I mean, shockingly, the Patriots didn't get a couple of calls. A couple of calls didn't go their way, but they still gave up a bunch of points against them.
I don't understand the argument on that Hunter Henry play. I mean, he lost control of the ball when he hit the ground. Like, what is the debate here? It's not like he like caught it and took steps or anything. Like he caught it, and as he was going down, he lost control. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was pretty.
Was it because it was in the end zone, or even if that's in the regular field of play, it still would have been incomplete?
Yeah, regular field of play. You get the ball. If you go to the ground with the ball and the ball touches the ground, it can't move. You can't lose control of it at all, which he did. So the only argument you can make is that it was a full catch in possession, I guess, maybe before, but he was going to the ground, and the rule says you can't go to the ground and lose control. So I thought it was I didn't think it was controversial at all. I didn't understand what the complaint was there. I mean, the ball clearly moved.
Well, because
Unless you didn't
you're
think-
looking at it frame by frame. I mean, that's the problem.
Well, yeah, you could see it move on regular speed, but unless you like zoom it, like we've talked about this before. If you have to slow mo something like that to tell if the nose of the ball touched the ground, like you can't really tell normal speed if it's just like his hand that hit it or if it's the nose of the ball. So, yeah, I guess you can have a complaint, but like, I mean, that's how replay is. I don't like it. I hate replay. I think it ruins sports.
Yeah, so I mean, the Patriots, their defense, they're fourth in yards per game allowed. But again, we just ran through. I mean, the quarterbacks they've beaten, Trubisky. I mean, the guys that we beat, Browns quarterback, Goff, and they beat bitch boy from the Jets twice, and they beat Sam Ellinger.
They smother bad teams. And this is the same sort of situation as last year, where they went on that run in the middle of the season, playing bad teams and backup quarterbacks, and they just crushed them all. And when they've played average offense, I mean, I guess the Lions are a top 10 offense in like every category. They shut them down. I don't know if like St. Brown was out. I feel like St. Brown might have been out and Swift, but regardless, when they're playing below average offenses, they completely dominate them. But when they play good offenses, it's been a slightly different story, especially quarterbacks that can run, which has been an issue for them forever.
Yeah, you're right. Swift didn't play, but St. Brown did play, but he got shut. Yeah, he had 4 catches, but yeah, Swift. I don't see Swift on here, but yeah, I mean the Lions outdoors. I feel like they're a team that's good at home, but on the road they're outside. I feel like they're completely different. But
yeah,
I mean either way, it was 29-0.
Yeah, they killed them.
Yeah, I think sure. I had the over in that game. I think.
Yeah, I mean that's probably their best performance this season.
Yeah, so they're 5th in points allowed, but I mean, to me, it's more going to come down to the offense. And their offense, I mean, Mac Jones, that guy is a joke. We said it last year, you and I, for some reason, Tim loved the guy. Rex all over him. I don't know, just because we played in a win game and he threw 3 passes or something.
The Patriots offense, I think that the fact that we're going to have Edmonds back, White hopefully playing the full game, I mean, that changes everything for us. And not having Miller, obviously. We didn't have Miller last year. We were getting Rousseau back. I mean, basically all of our starters that have been out should be coming back and playing. We were a shell of ourselves last game on defense. Second half, we didn't have Miller. We didn't have Rousseau. We didn't have Edmonds. Epinesa we didn't have. So we were missing a lot of guys. All those guys will be playing. So we'll have, a better rotation at D-line. Edmonds makes a huge difference. Huge difference for us. I mean, I don't know. We might have to pay that man.
Well, we had to pay Knox for some reason. But yeah, I'm getting Edmonds back. We'll get Epinesa back, and we'll get Rousseau back. I mean, all 3 of those dudes didn't play last week, right? So
and Trey White.
Trey White. Well, yeah. So I mean, those are 3 basically starters. I mean, yeah, we don't have Von Miller now. Hopefully, he's only out for what? They said 2 weeks.
Well, based on what Von said, he's hoping to be able to come back before the Jets game. But I would expect Von to not play until Miami game, and I think that would be fine.
Well, I mean, we need the dude, so I don't know.
Yeah, we definitely need him.
I mean, that's the whole reason we got the guy. We overpay him with this weird contract. I mean, if he's out for the year or if he doesn't play in the playoffs.
Well, he sounds like he's just going to be out a couple weeks, so he knows his body more than anyone else, I'm sure. These Twitter doctors are just like, ACL concern. Allen's going to be out. This could be a multiple-week injury.
Well, it's because Chow, like a couple of those guys, they got popular. They got picked up by some of these other reporters and retweet them. They get their blue check mark, and then everyone wants to do the same thing and get paid and be on these podcasts and shit. Some guy watching you don't have a different TV angle than anyone else. You're watching the same shit. You don't know anything.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
like
you
the
went to
shift in
medical
the
school,
ball.
but
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, I mean, the Allen thing, it was like Rappaport had the correct report on like Monday morning that, it's going to limit him in practice. He can deal with it. And Chow was like insistent that it was like a multiple week injury, even though there was reports that like it wasn't going to be that. So I don't know, but yeah, they didn't, they're not doing the exams or seeing the X-rays. They're just watching a video.
And the weather, they're saying they're supposed to be windy during the day, but it looks to me like it
looks beautiful.
It looks going to be pretty clear at night.
Yeah,
so
mid-20s, a little cold.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mac Jones' only chance against us, I feel like, is if it's 50,000-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, Mac has more interceptions than touchdowns. I think he's got 6 TDs, 7 picks. Their offense. I mean, they're coming off a good game on offense, so maybe they're starting to figure things out. But I still don't understand what their like plan was this season with Matt Patricia as their offensive coordinator, who's like never been an offensive coordinator.
No one's going to rip on Belichick because he's Belichick, but to anyone that's just like dropped on planet Earth, it makes no goddamn sense at all to do that, and they deserve to be ridiculed and for it to blow up in their face. It was preposterous. I mean,
it made no sense to me.
Yeah, I hate McDaniel, but the guy knew how to run an offense at least.
I think McDaniel's a good offensive coordinator, just obviously not a good head coach. I don't understand how he got hired again. But he makes no sense to me, and look what's happening with them. But he's a good offensive coordinator, no doubt.
Yeah.
So,
but it was interesting. You said Mac Jones 6 picks, 6 touchdowns, 7 picks. Someone I know the last 5 games, what do you call him, Josh? He's had
Josh.
He's had 6 TDs and 7 interceptions in the last 5 games, so that's pretty impressive.
Well, let me run this.
241 yards average passing per game.
Well, let me run this past you.
He had 3 TDs rushing and a fumble loss. But the fumble loss only costs a game, but
last game, last
the Lions.
The Lions game.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like the darlings of the NFL right now, flying up the MVP odds boards, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow.
Eagles.
Yeah, Burrow too.
Cincy. Oh.
Joe Burrow, 302 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Hurts, 310 and 2. Josh Allen, 331 and 3. Allen, terrible game, plummeting down the MVP odds. Is it just? I mean, the MVP award, it's almost like you have a better chance to win it if you suck, and then you like all of a sudden are good. I don't understand what the expectations are. I mean, we're our 5-game slump, quote slump. We're averaging 27 points a game in those 5 games. 27 points a game in those 5 games that we've been terrible on offense. I'm not saying we've been good on offense. Yeah, we've had too many red zone turnovers. Imagine if we weren't turning the ball over in the red zone. We're averaging 27 points a game.
I wish I could.
That would be there's only 2 teams in the NFL that are averaging more points per game in this season than 27. It's us and Kansas City. It's maybe the Eagles might have jumped in there after that last week. But point being is this Allen, it hasn't been at his best, but our offense is still scoring points. And I don't know. We scored 30, 31, 28, 27. Those are 4 of those 5 games. The other game was 17 where we lost. But
it's not fancy enough for WGR. They won't.
Well, that's my whole point. I get it. It doesn't look as fluid as it should. The play calling, we can talk about it, whatever. But we're scoring enough points to win pretty much every game. And this takes me back to the defense because I think our defense, and I don't even blame them. There's just been too many injuries, but we can't get stops. And we give up way too many long drives too. And that makes it hard to get in the flow. I don't know. Doesn't it seem like we give up multiple, like 6-7 minute drives, like consistently. How do you get in a flow on offense?
Well, I get pissed when we have like a tackle for a loss on second down because if it's 3rd and 11, it's a guaranteed first down.
Guaranteed first down. What is going on with
I
those?
hate when we have tackles for loss. I know that we're fucked then.
These third and long conversions. I don't know, man. I'm so sick of the everything. I've talked about it every week. Yeah, the offense can play better. Obviously, we're still scoring 27 points per game in this 5-game slump. And
Well,
the
as
defense,
as Sal has to say, he always says, "Well, Micah Hyde's out this week." I mean, the middle of the field is what the problem is. So
yeah,
we don't have our middle linebacker, the 8-foot abominable snow monster out there. So if he's out, and we have a backup safety that I still don't know his goddamn name,
Hamlin. What do you
Hamlin,
call him? Hamlin.
yeah, whatever his name
Wait,
is.
is it Hamlin? You're screwing me up now. I think it's Hamlin.
It's not your friend's name. Is it?
There's a Hamlin. There is a Hamlin. But yeah, yeah.
Well, whatever his name is, he's pissing me off. That's all I know.
The people on the radio think he's like playing pretty good. I don't know. But Jaquan Johnson was not good. So I guess that's what people say. But
So the line went down. It's only 4. Wasn't it 5.5?
oh, I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was 5.5. It went down to 4.
I'm on DraftKings right now. 4 minus 115. And over under is 43.5.
Wow, that is surprising. Yeah, no, it definitely was 5.5.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you have us being having 0 division wins in December? I mean, that's
This is the biggest Bills. I don't want to say biggest Bills regular season game. This might be the biggest Bills regular season game in the McDermott era. I mean, this is a pivotal point of our season. If we lose this game Thursday, we're a wild card team, basically.
unless
Really?
yeah. I mean, unless the Dolphins start rattling off L's. I mean,
They have a
the
tough
Dolphins.
stretch, and they could, but you can't. I feel like if we lose this Patriots game, I'm thinking wild card. Honestly, I just you can't go 0-3 in the division and expect to win that division.
Yeah. I mean, it's strange that all our first 3 division games are all on the road, but yeah, you can't go 0-3 in the division and expect us. His name is Damar Hamlin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Damar Hamlin, it's just to me that's an ugly name or something. It doesn't work for me. I want to say Damar Hamler. I don't know.
I hear you.
Like Peterson. Everyone has to say Peterson. Usually I get players' names right. I don't know. Damar Hamlin. I can't say it.
That one's been tripping you up for weeks.
Yeah.
It's all year, really.
I'm gonna have to write it down. Or I just don't see his fucking goddamn face on the screen. I don't want to see him on the field. He's pissing me off.
Yeah. So if we go, so I guess I'm thinking here, and I sort of want to track what I just said, because if we lose today or lose Thursday, we're 8-4. Miami could easily lose this week at San Fran, and they're 8-4. So we still would we still have to win out though. I mean, they have to win this game, and especially if they want to have any ideas of getting the number 1 seed, then obviously they have to win this game.
Well, yeah, 4 losses. I mean, that would be the maximum that you could have. But
yeah.
So what's the tiebreaker? I mean, it would be head to head, right? Well, it's division record, right? First it's your record for us and the Dolphins.
Head to head, then division, then.
And the Jets or the Dolphins. Well, yeah, they wouldn't have 3 losses, so we'd have to have more wins than them. So
exactly. Exactly. I mean, they could though. They play New England again, right? They play us. They must have another Jets game left, maybe. I don't think they played the Jets twice. Did the Jets beat them once? Actually, they're 2-1 in the division. So we could beat them. They could lose to New England, then they're 3-3. It's not impossible. Miami, they're everyone's darling right now, but They barely beat the Lions too. They barely beat the Bears. They barely beat the Steelers. They got a lot of close wins.
Yeah, they beat the Steelers by 6, the Lions by 4, the Bears by 3. They trounced Cleveland. I mean, they sort of gave up against Houston, but they still won by 15. But yeah, I mean, this is the stretch for them. They go at San Fran, at Chargers, at Buffalo, Green Bay, at New England, and then the Jets at home.
Yeah, tough,
So
real tough schedule. And Green Bay, they might be that's probably a win, but other than that, it's a tough schedule. And how is Miami going to do coming in the cold? I feel
yeah,
like that
that's what
team's
I
not
want to
built
see.
for
I mean,
that.
they just had a lot of they haven't played outside in the weather really. I mean, Cleveland was at home. The Chicago, yeah, maybe that's why they got tripped up against Chicago is because it was outside.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna if they're built for December, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
They have a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
good running backs.
We gotta just control what we can control, and that's this is about when we started to. Isn't this about when we started to turn the corner last year? And actually, I think that first Patriots game was in December, but we sort of limped into Foxboro last year, and then that's when we crushed New England. I think we lost to Tampa in that game where we should have won, and then we had like one home game maybe against I forget maybe Carolina, but we were still sort of like coming out of that slump that we had, and then Allen
Yeah,
just lit them up.
this is the time of year last year we fell apart. We got smoked by the Colts on November 21st. Then
Okay,
we got right against a bad Saints team, and then we lost to the
and then we had
Patriots in the weather game, lost to Tampa, and then we just rattled off wins. But
yeah. So yeah, and I mean I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much last year matters, but in our last 14 offensive drives, other than running out the end of the half, we have 11 TDs and 2 field goals, and one we got stopped on down against the pass. They haven't stopped us since 2020. I don't even know. Did we even punt that? Did we even punt at Gillette in 2020? I mean, we crushed them in 2020. They haven't outside of that win game. You can go all the way back to like that Cam Newton game at home, where they've come close to stopping us.
well, this team that you said was the greatest of all time, or could be the greatest of all potential. Yeah, you're favored in all these games. You're favored in 4 games on the. You're favored by 4 points or 5 points on the road against Mac Jones. Either this team is great or really, really good, or they're not. This is a game that
I agree.
I don't want to hear anything about Super Bowl. I don't want anyone to say the word Super Bowl if they lose this game because they're not going to win the Super Bowl if they lose this game. I mean, unless things drastically change, which could happen, but I mean, the way it's going to go, it's not going to fall right for us.
So I told you, if we lose this game, we're a wild card team. We can't really use injuries as an excuse. I mean, I don't know if Dawkins is going to play. That's not ideal. I mean,
he didn't practice today. But they have 2 injuries on their O line too. Wynn didn't practice, and their center is. I mean, they said he's limited, but I don't think he's going to play. From what I was.
Yeah. So, but your injuries are Dawkins, and Miller. I mean, 2 very important players, but like not enough to where you should win. You should win this game, even without those 2 guys. I think having Morse might even be bigger than more important than having. Remember, we didn't have Morse that whole game against Detroit.
Yeah, and there were a few snaps that were a little bit off, but I mean nothing crazy, but
yeah. So injuries aren't really. I mean, you're as healthy as you've really been on defense outside of Miller. I have to caveat with that every time because he's probably our best player, but one of our best players. But our linebackers are healthy. Secondary is about as good as healthy as it's going to be, probably, other than Benford, but whatever.
In 2020, we beat them 38-9, and we had 2 punts.
Okay, so we punted in the last 3 real games against New England. We punted 2 times.
Well, unless there's a gust
So,
of wind, then we can't complete a pass. But
gust of wind. Come on. But that playoff game, I don't know. I just like hope and pray that it's like the Patriots, the way it used to be, like except the opposite. Like that team just owned us no matter what. No matter what was going on. They just owned us. And I'm hoping that, like, I don't know, Allen has Belichick figured out somehow. I mean, I don't know. I hope that the success that we've had against them over the past 3 years is just like going to carry over. Like, are they really going to shut us down now all of a sudden after we just scored, 47 points against them in January?
it would be pretty shocking if they kept us under 23 points. I mean, they give up points. They gave up points against Minnesota, against good teams, or at least decent teams. They gave up a good amount of points against Green Bay. Even Green Bay is not anything like they used to be.
No, I mean, Green Bay, I don't remember when that game was, but they're obviously not good at all. So I mean, they're
It was
3
earlier
and
in the
7
year,
or
but
something, 4 and
yeah.
8 or whatever they are.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up a ton of points to the Bears. The Ravens scored a bunch. Dolphins were almost at 30 points. So, I mean, they're not stopping good teams, like we already said. But
Yeah.
I just worry about these receivers. I mean, other than Diggs, I just don't see it. I mean, they're talking about maybe Crowder coming back. I mean, obviously not this week, but and the other guy, the late round pick from last year, who has been barely even played in the NFL. Yeah, Speedy, Marquez.
Is Brown going to be active this week?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's not.
I would make him active. We need bodies. We can't have 4 receivers. I mean, if he can go out there and run some go routes, that's more than like.
Dude's hamstrings better be warmed up. I don't want to dress them, and then he runs 2 go routes, and his hamstrings flaring up, and he has to sit, and then we bench Shakir, who's been sick this week anyways, who hasn't done jack shit. And
what is this illness that's going around? No one can get the scoop on what the fuck is going on here. Where are these?
Because they're all buddies. They're all in their. They're in fantasy leagues, and
wouldn't you be asking like, what is the illness? Is it the flu? Is it like the norovirus? Is it like MRSA? Like, what is going through the locker room right now? Like 15 guys have had it in the past 2 weeks. What is it?
I don't know, but I'm not going to count any local dudes breaking any stories other than like, oh wow, this player donated some money to some charity or he delivered some turkeys. That's all they report on. These guys have the cushiest jobs. They don't want to rock the boat.
Inside info. I want some inside info. And when we have 8 guys on the injury list as reported with an illness, I want some answers.
Get down.
Everyone was back today though, so everyone was back today. So I guess, but last week we had 4 receivers healthy, right? Like I feel like you can't go into a game with 4 receivers. So I don't know. Last year we played New England in the regular season. I don't think Davis or Beasley played. It was just McKenzie, Sanders, and Diggs.
McKenzie's one big game that he had basically in his career. Well, he had a big game the other day, but one of his few big games was against the Patriots. I think that was at New England. He torched them, didn't he?
Yeah, he had 10 catches for like 140 yards or something.
Finished the season with like 21.
Yeah. Well, they want to play man coverage, and I guess that suits his game, McKenzie. Our receivers must be like terrible route runners besides Diggs. I feel like you watch other games and guys are just open for like 8-yard digs and like, there's like easy completions out there. How often I feel like we never have easy completions. Like guys are just not open.
Oh, Allen's running backwards 35 yards. I mean,
what are you talking about?
The games I'm watching, dude is running in the wrong direction a lot. He doesn't just step up and throw. Maybe it is. Are you watching
YouTube videos of like 2018? He had a nice completion backpedaling last game. I'm not seeing that at all. I feel like guys are just not open. I mean, he's been inaccurate on short passes the past like month, but I don't know. My point is, I feel like we don't just get like we never get like an easy 7-yard completion to a like. It just seems like things are so much more difficult than they need to be right now. And I don't know if that's Dorsey. I don't know if that's the
Well, it
receivers.
doesn't
I don't
help
know
that
if
we
it's a
have these.
combination.
We're throwing to like fullbacks and tight ends, and I'm always in my head. I'm like, is that a guy that played on the team 25 years ago, or is that a guy that's playing right now today? Like
Yeah.
Quentin Morris, Sammy Morris. I mean, who are some of these dudes? I
mean, there's
like thinking Larry Centers is going to be out there running a go route.
we went from Sanders and Beasley to nobody basically, and I mean Sanders and Beasley played in this league a super long time, and we're probably really good at running routes. And
yeah, they know how to get open. They'll find a hole in the defense and sit there.
Yeah, and now we go to McKenzie, who, yeah, he's like a fun gadget player, but there's a reason why he hasn't been. I mean, he's been in the league like he's got to be like 30. McKenzie.
He's been on 3 teams. Yeah, he was on Denver and someone else.
I mean, so there's a reason why he's never like blossomed into some star slot guy. And Davis, he's still a young player, but like I don't know, he doesn't seem to be a consistent, reliable target. I mean, he gets like 5 targets a game.
He was anointed because he went in the 4th round in someone's fantasy draft, and these weird fantasy best ball losers hyped him up.
And there's a difference between being good in fantasy and being like a reliable. I mean, say what you will about Beasley, but the guy was just reliable. He got open. I mean, he lost a step last year, but he still he still had probably 70 or something receptions. I mean, we have. How many receptions who's got the second most receptions on the team? Singletary? Like honestly, like who's catching balls for us now? So I don't know. We losing Sanders and Beasley obviously was like we tried to replace it with Crowder, I guess, but that didn't work out. So that I do have to remember that. We did try that.
Shocker. Well, we got a minute left.
All right. Prediction. I think I agree. I think that I'm very nervous about this game, stressed big time. I do think we score 30, though. I think it's going to be – I'll go 34-23.
If we go 23 points to Mac Jones, yikes.
Oh, we are. They're going to score. They're going to score some points. I guarantee it.
Well, that line going down 1.5 is
kind of like it.
Bit eye-opening to me. But, yeah, -4 – I mean, maybe people heard about the wind and they thought that it's going to affect it, but I was just on weather.com literally just now. It's less than 48 hours before kickoff, but yeah, I can't picture us losing this game. I mean, well, I can, but I'm not going to predict that we're going to lose. I'll say 24-17.
Wow.
I just don't. I mean, Mac Jones. I'm even 17. It's kind of a
Bills like Buffalo.
Go fuck yourself.
Shit, I'm all about the Bills like Thurman Thomas. I don't tip, I pay bills. Bitches call me Buffalo.
Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Okay, Lawrence.
Yes.